Hello, everybody, and happy St. Patrick's Day. I grabbed the only green thing I own, as we are going to play the Spartans in hockey for the Big Ten championship. It would be their first Big Ten tournament championship ever. It would be our third straight. Oh, what a glorious weekend it has been, hasn't it? Michigan fired Juwan Howard. Thank you. Thank you. He ruined a illustrious program. We'll have to see what the next coach is who the next coach is going to be, and what their philosophy is. Are we going to go back to Beeline's philosophy, where you develop players and you keep them intact, and there's culture, kind of like the football program is doing and hockey is doing? Or do you get the one and dones? Well, hockey does get one and dones, but hockey, man. I think it was the best game that they have played all season versus Minnesota at Minnesota's house last night. It was unbelievable. Michigan entered the game 20-13 and 3 ties is what their record was. Minnesota was 22-9 and 5. It was the Big Ten semifinal. Michigan State already beat Ohio State in the other semifinal 2-1. And that's what this score ended up, 2-1 Michigan. This was a single elimination weekend, and that's what went into Michigan's favor. They kept splitting series all season. They'd win one, the first one mostly, and then they'd lose the second one. They did sweep a couple of teams. They had to sweep Notre Dame last weekend in the quarterfinal of this tournament. I believe they swept them a couple weeks before. So they have had some sweeps, but now we're in single elimination time, baby, where Michigan and these high-flying offensive weapons for us can thrive. Let's start with the first quarter of the game. Minnesota had a shot 7 seconds in. They won the face-off, and a shot was blocked by Barczewski. Michigan got possession and went for a line change a minute into the game. Why are they doing that? I don't know why they did that, but it made sense because a couple minutes later, Michigan scored on their first shot, and it was Draper. Draper then got a turnover, and on a one-on-one, it was saved by Close, Justin Close, the goalie for Minnesota, and then Luca Fantilli scored for Michigan on a pass from LaPointe behind the net. It was 2-0, but no. After review, the possession was offsides way before the action ever happened, and the goal was no good. It was still 1-0 Michigan. At 8:31 left in the first period, everyone took a rest for the TV timeout. It was back and forth, man. They were exuding energy in this game, both sides. Shots were Minnesota 7, Michigan 4. But I felt like Michigan was in control overall in effort and precision early on in this game. They were not going to be denied. Michigan continued to have great chances, but couldn't get puck on net. Shifsky had a great crossover right in front of the goalie, got tripped, and just couldn't get a stick on it to get it in the net. But shots on goal were 10-7, Minnesota still. So Michigan was hitting hard, though, as the period expired. It was 1-0. In the second period, Michigan had multiple great chances from about 17 minutes left to about 16 minutes left. There was a minute period where there were about 4 or 5 really good chances, and they could not capitalize. And then Minnesota had the game's first penalty here in the second period on a hook call on Gavin Brindley. Michigan is the nation's #1 power play, and it was killed by Minnesota, even though shots were 15-11 after that power play. We tried. Justin Close is amazing, all right? It was in Michigan's favor, shots on goal now, early in the second period. Close had another amazing save on Moldenhauer, but Michigan kept winning faceoffs and attacking. And it was only a matter of time in my mind before Michigan scored again. Minnesota finally got their third shot of this period with 5 minutes left. The defense for Michigan was top notch, best that they have been all season long. And then it was a TV timeout with 5 minutes left. It was back and forth, no stoppage until 5 minutes left in the second period. And then with 1:24 left, Gavin Brindley had a shot from the circle that went by close, top shelf left corner. Beautiful. From the right side, from the circle, which gave us a 2-0 lead on Minnesota on 24 shots on goal to Minnesota's 15 at the end of the second period. Michigan's defense, like I said, top notch in this game anyway. So here we go into the third period. Michigan led 18-1-2 in wins. They won games that they were leading after the first period, 18-1-2. But also have blown leads multiple times this season. So I was interested. Which direction were they going to go? And, man, with 16:45 left, Edwards for Michigan was called for interference. So Michigan went on their first power play, the second penalty of the game. And there were only 2 penalties all game. But Michigan killed just like Minnesota did. They normally have practice at it because they are the highest penalized team in the nation. It was high flying back and forth in the middle of the third period until the TV timeout with 7 minutes and 23 seconds left. And at that point, shots were 27-21. Michigan was still leading up 2 goals. And then with 2 minutes left, Minnesota pulled their goalie, and Snuggerud finally got a goal by Barczewski. It was 6-on-5. They pulled their goalie, and they got a goal. But it was 2-1 Michigan with 1:22 left is when they scored, and Michigan played great defense to keep them out for the rest of the game. It was 2-1 victory. Michigan beat Minnesota when it matters again. They beat them last time in the Big Ten tournament in the championship game. This time in the semifinals, they move on to the Big Ten championship game. Michigan does versus Sparty, in-state rivals here in the Big Ten hockey championship. Sparty actually had the #1 seed. They had the regular season championship here. Young team. It wasn't supposed to happen this quick for them. And Michigan has been there repeatedly. So this should be interesting. I think Michigan's seeking their 3rd straight championship, just like they're trying to keep up with Michigan football here. Another great program. 2 straight championships, looking for 3, and they're looking for a national championship here after winning their 3rd, just like football. The last time football won the national championship in 1997, hockey did too. So, these programs are tied. They're like that. It's interesting. Both lead in the, or are second now because of Alabama in football and because of Denver in hockey. Second now in all-time national title wins. And I broke down the roster of the team and what they're getting in a previous video. You can go check that out. Check out all the videos I have here on the Dependent Fanatic channel. But remember to say, go blue. Go blue, baby.